throughout these years. The Conjuring has never been about gore. It's really a throwback to tension and ratcheting up that tension to an almost unbearable point.
When you're making a movie that is scary and frightening, part of the challenge is trying to come up with new scares that we haven't seen before.
I just thought, I want to deliver the darkest thing we've ever seen in the series. And how do you do that, and what would that be?
With The Last Rites, we really want to go out with a bang.
When I saw the first Conjuring film in a theater, I was blown away. I actually had wanted to do a haunted house movie, so it was actually so inspiring and also heartbreaking, because I was like, I'll never do a haunted house movie as good as that. That's like the best, and I still believe that is such a legendary film.
Mommy!
James Wan did it so perfectly with the clap game and the sequence down in the basement with the match being blown out.
Wanna play hide and clap?
And then in Conjuring 2, the whole sequence in Ed's study with Vera that I think has 13 different beats to it. It just gets more and more and more intense until finally the nun comes out of the painting and rushes towards Vera. So, you know, we've had amazing practical scares in our films all the way through.
With a horror set piece, to me, there's no formula as to how to capture the it moment. For me, the approach, it's really having a rough idea, but then taking some time to sort of walk through the set, feel it out, and play out the scenes in my head.
I remember so vividly being on set throughout the entire production and learning so much from James. His style of directing, what the important things were. I sat right next to him, and I was always asking questions about, why are you framed up here? Why are you framed up there? What do you hope to get out of this particular shot?
It gets harder and harder with each subsequent film because you're digging into your bag of tricks, of scares and set pieces. So much of horror movies is about discovery. And a lot of times the actors bring a lot of that to it as well.
What is it?
When the moment brings chills to me, then I know I have something special.
James Wan elevated the film to what it became. He just had such a unique view on what would make a really special supernatural thriller. And what he put in that first movie is really the gas in the tank that took us all the way through to Last Rites.
Scares are always the reason you're coming to these movies. And so much of it is the unexpected. So it's finding ways to get people in a surprising way that's visually unique.
This is Shav's second Conjuring movie that he's done. So he's familiar with the characters in that world. He's designing some set pieces that I felt very good about. And it's exciting to see Shav's grow and to see him focusing on all the right things.
One of the first moments that always gets people is just the dinner scene in the restaurant. And it's a moment where we're starting to see Judy struggling to contain her power. It's this kind of great mother-daughter moment where it seems like she's extinguished whatever the issue is. And then right on the heels of that, we cut and we show Judy with a hand on her shoulder. Every time people see that, there's like a gasp in the audience, and it just like slips back out of view.
Lorraine?
So I think that just hiding those things in plain sight is so effective.
It's not easy to follow James Wan. James is truly the consummate horror filmmaker who blends scares and emotion in a beautiful, beautiful fashion. Shavs has taken that and added his own spin to it.
And action.
I wanted to really get the feels of that first film, both in the texture and the color and the zooms, these developing zooms, which were so classic. We would, of course, reference The Conjuring. We also referenced Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978, Donald Sutherland. A great film. Watch it if you haven't seen it. At the same time, I wanted to be in the 80s. So Poltergeist was also one of the references. We shot with these old C-series Panavision anamorphic lenses. They are the same lenses that they shot Poltergeist on, and Alien on, and Blade Runner, all these classic movies. And they have so much great texture to them. This is a movie about collecting relics and artifacts, and these lenses themselves are filmmaking relics. They've been passed down for ages.
Father Gordon is a very important character for us. You know, he's been there with us since the very first movie, and he's almost part of the family as well. But since this is the last movie, we felt, you know what, maybe it's time for Father Gordon to go. His death helps drive the story forward in terms of the plot, but it also gives us a very sort of emotional moment in the movie as well.
Father Gordon helped so many people. Father Gordon was light, and he brought that light to me and my family when we needed him most.
The idea of losing a main character, and especially losing Gordon, felt like a real dramatic opportunity. So how could we pivot that and really make it the intention of the demon? That was the initial conversation, and then also how can we draw in Judy into it?
The mirror room is the first time that she personally feels the physical touch of a demon. You know, we see the hand in the restaurant, but it's ambiguous whether Judy knows it's there and whether she can feel it. I'll keep that a secret. But in the mirror room, she's actually pinpricked and there's blood drawn. And so it's a very, very big moment because that's extremely frightening.
And action.
It's suddenly not just visual, it's a vision that is also physically sensory. And it leads into this huge crack. And Father Gordon comes down hanging.
Ultimately, all the scares can only really work if you care for the characters. And so that was definitely the biggest thing that we wanted to focus on.
Judy, it's me, honey. I know you're in there. I know you can hear me.
I think it's something that you want, especially in these last chapters. There needs to be a cost. There needs to be sacrifices, and you need to lose people that you really love. Gordon was such a fan favorite that I think it's really gut-wrenching when he dies. But I think you need that sense of consequence with any really solid story.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.